Hello, my name is Douglas Bloch. I'm an author and mental health educator. Welcome to your Depression Recovery channel, where each week we talk about practical tools and coping strategies for healing from depression and anxiety. The title of today's video is All Things Are Working Together for Your Highest and Greatest Good. Before we talk about that uplifting affirmation, we have to start with a joke. And so it's kind of a riddle. What does a dentist call his x-rays? Toothpicks. All right. You can't beat puns, can you? So, I've talked about a prayer support line on this channel from a long time. I even made a video about it. It's called Silent Unity, 24-hour prayer line where you can call with whatever challenge you have. They will hold you in light for 30 days. If anybody is really in pain, I'll have that number listed in the description notes. But anyway, I called them one day for a typical challenge, and the prayer associate said, "And Douglas, I leave you with this uplifting affirmation. All things are working together for your highest and greatest good." Wow, I thought that's pretty cool. All things are working together for my highest and greatest good. Maybe I'll use that one of these days. As I predicted, I've made good use of this affirmation throughout my life. For example, the last couple of videos I've talked about this hip replacement surgery I had in August 17th and what I learned about life and my experience during the recovery period that came afterwards. What I didn't mention is that the original date had been July 20th, 4 weeks earlier. Now, I had spent the previous month before that surgery date preparing for the surgery. It was a lot of work. I had to go see the surgeon a couple of times for pre-op meetings. I had to arrange for a hospital bed to be delivered to my house the day after the surgery, actually, because I couldn't walk upstairs, 2 flights of stairs, after having a hip replacement, right? And I also had to get tested for COVID. So I was raring to go. Then, I still can't believe it, 4:59 p.m., the night before the surgery, I get a call from the doctor's office. Well, I figure it's just going to be a confirmation. Oh no, the person who called me, I think she was the billing person, said, "Mr. Bloch, I'm terribly sorry, but you see, we're going to have to cancel your surgery." "What?" I said. "Well, you see, there was a miscommunication between the insurance company and the surgeon's office, and we never got authorized to do the surgery. Now you can continue if you want, but if we don't get the authorization, you'll be out for $31,000. To say that I was shocked and dismayed would be a major understatement. The next day, I woke up horribly depressed. I had cleared out the next 4 weeks to focus on rehab and recovery, and now I had nothing to do. A great void lay before me. It was then that I received a call from my good friend Beth, who, like myself, has traveled the spiritual path for many years. And she asked this question that was quite provocative. She said, "Can you imagine yourself in the future looking back and seeing the many good things that occurred as a result of the surgery being canceled?" As soon as I hung up the phone, I remembered that affirmation, all things are working together for my highest and greatest good. Repeating this to me gave me a shift in my consciousness. And in the next few days and weeks, I began to see that, in fact, good things were coming out of this cancellation. The first benefit is that I now had time to call my plumber and ask him to install grab bars in the area where I was taking my showers. Now, given the fact that my left leg was going to be really weak and I couldn't put any weight on it, this was an important safety feature. Second thing is that, again, a few days before the surgery, initial date, I discovered that my health insurance company was going to offer me free home health physical therapy. Didn't have the time to set up. Now I had 4 weeks. And so what I arranged for was this. The very next day after I came home from the surgery, a physical therapist was in my home doing an evaluation and giving me 8 free sessions of home health PT. Again, this would not have happened unless the surgery was canceled. After home health physical therapy ended, I was scheduled to work outpatient in a clinic with an amazing physical therapist who had originally recommended I do the surgery. "Don't worry," Dennis said. Don't worry about rehab. I'm going to put you back together and you're going to function better than ever. So I really look forward to working with you and having you have a wonderful recovery period. Yeah, right? Well, 3 weeks before the original surgery I did, I got an email from Dennis. I don't know what happened, he said, but I have been emerged. What did he say? He said, I'm being called out of town for an emergency right after your surgery, so I'm not going to be able to work with you. I was terribly disappointed, actually very upset, but there was nothing I could do about it. However, with the new surgery date a month later, by the time that came, he was back in town and he was able to work with me. Finally, a few weeks after I started working with Dennis, I had a freak accident where I fell on my left hip. Didn't break anything, but I severely strained my hip flexor muscle, making it very difficult for me to walk and setting back my recovery. But as with the postponement of the surgery, there was a blessing in disguise. The health insurance company, realizing that 6 sessions wasn't enough, extended my work with him to 20 sessions. I'm in the 15th now, and I can see that this has given me a lot more time to strengthen the hip, and this, of course, would not have occurred had I not fallen on that hip. Finally, I'd like to add a caveat to the theme of this video. Many years ago, a mother named Candy Leitner lost her daughter when the daughter was killed by a drunk driver. Now, if I had been with her at the time, the mother, I would not have said, oh, don't worry, all things are working together for your highest and greatest good. That would be inappropriate to a grieving mother. However, there's another principle that says, out of tragedy, good can arise. And here's how it worked in this situation. In the midst of her grief, Candy Leitner founded a very well-known organization called MADD, M-A-D-D, Mothers Against Drunk Driving. As a result, many people's lives have been saved. It's now the middle of November, and I can see, as Beth had predicted, the many good things that resulted from my surgery being canceled. Over the years, I have observed this over and over again, the truth of the affirmation. All things are working together for my highest and greatest good. Now, you're more likely to benefit from this principle if you can see your difficulties as opportunities to learn and to grow. The key to living is to put the most helpful frame of reference on whatever you experience so that it works for you instead of against you. Thus, your most important resource in life is your outlook on life. So, this was a great, it wasn't a learning experience. I'd already known about this principle, but it was a great reinforcing experience. This has been Douglas Bloch. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you learned something from it. If so, please give it a like, or you can email me, douglasbloch@gmail.com. If you want to subscribe to the video, simply click on the button that appears during the closing credits, or and in addition to that, the little bell to the right of it, you'll be notified every time I make a new video or do a new live chat. And if you want to contribute to this channel to help it continue to grow, simply click on the Patreon symbol and you'll be taken to my crowdfunding site. And until we meet again, I wish you the best in your mental health recovery. Thank you so much for watching.